Hi, this is Chrissy, and welcome to For the Love of Animals.
Hey, this is Maria. Welcome to For the Love of Animals.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, pet lovers of all ages, and you are listening to For the Love of Animals. I am Tim, and always to my right is Miss Maria.
Here I am. Yes.
Chrissy couldn't be here today.
Yeah, she did
She had a doctor's appointment that she had to go to, so we are conducting the show today.
We are.
A very exciting show today.
Yes, we do have a caller in a few minutes.
Yes, Lisa Lewis. She's the founder of a community animal rescue and educational foundation that she has started, and we will be talking to her about her animals and what her mission is. We're also going to be talking about how to choose the right pet for yourself, being that the Christmas holiday is around.
Yeah.
Every little boy and girl's dream, they would love to see a furry animal.
I want a puppy.
Underneath the tree, exactly. And how to choose those animals.
Or a kitty.
Or a kitty, yes.
Yes.
A puppy was always my dream when I was little.
Right, me so. Never got it,
Never
though.
got it.
Not on
It's
Christmas in a box.
Too much responsibility for a child, but
it is.
We're going to explain how you should pick those puppies.
Right.
If you're adopting an animal from a shelter, how to choose those.
Right, and because you got to pick a pet that's going to be suited for your home and your lifestyle.
Exactly.
And make sure
the commitment, the commitment that you will be taking,
right,
to care for this animal, because you will be having it for up to 16, 17 years.
Exactly.
Some animals live to 20.
Yep. And a lot of people don't think about that.
No.
It's a puppy. Oh, it's bigger now. I'm not taking care of it. Yeah.
Exactly. We will try to get her on the line within the next couple of minutes.
Okay. Yeah, because you got to have the time to, if you're thinking about getting a pet for the holidays, how old your child is, what kind of responsibilities
if they're responsible, old enough to care for that puppy.
Right. Yes. Yeah, you got to walk the dog. You got to take him out. You got to, if it's a puppy, you got to,
Well, you got to make sure your house is also safe for the puppy.
Exactly.
Make sure they don't get into something you don't want them getting into, like underneath the sink.
Yes.
I had a dog who went underneath the sink one time and started drinking cleaner products.
Oh.
So we had to bring it to the vet and get
That's
the stomach
not good.
pumped. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was a big rigmarole.
And shoes, too. Shoes is a big thing for puppies.
Shoes is a nice chew toy for puppies when they're teething.
Yes, and they don't know.
But if you would like to call them up right now, get her on the line.
Okay. Get that set up?
Yeah, get her all set up.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it because we got.
Because I would like to ask. Yeah, so I would like to ask questions about it, so that we get it right from the horse's mouth, as they say.
Right.
Not saying anything wrong, but
exactly.
That's peripheral.
Want to make sure we have the right information.
Yes, that is correct. You can check us out on Facebook or Spreaker, For the Love of Animals Radio.com.
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday at 11.
Yep.
We're also on Stitcher, STITCHER, and also YouTube.
That's it. Yep.
And we are calling right now.
Okay. Great.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa. This is Tim from For the Love of Animals. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're doing well over here. You're on the air right now, and we were just discussing your foundation, CARES.
Oh, wonderful.
Where are you guys located? Everybody was wondering where you guys are located. You guys are local, right?
Yeah, we're located right in Brooksville. It's a private shelter, and we're on 10 acres, and it's a private facility.
And you guys are established, 6 years now, I think it said?
Since 2007.
2007. Okay. Do you also work as a veterinary technician?
Yeah, I'm a vet tech as well.
You are
Been doing
a vet
that
tech.
for about 4.5, 5 years.
4.5. Okay. Now, do you treat animals at your shelter as well?
We do. We treat them. Mostly we bring them right into, obviously, where I work to do most of any kind of medical treatment, but
Yeah.
any aftercare and that can be handled right at the shelter.
Right at the shelter. Okay. What made you want to start this foundation? Like, what made? I mean, I know you're a pet lover and everything. That's basically what everyone's first thought is when they start a foundation like this, is wanting to help pets. So, I mean, how did you get into it?
And it all started actually during Hurricane Katrina. I had gone with another rescue to do search and rescue, for the pets that were left behind. And I spent about 6 to 8 weeks in New Orleans in the 5th Ward, the worst part.
Okay.
And we were doing search and rescue, and we were bringing the pets back. And it was sad to find out that there really was nowhere to put them.
Oh.
And we were finding out that some of the other, I don't want to say rescues, but the other facilities were actually euthanizing to make room for these animals we were bringing back, which was wrong.
Because the population,
so
the population of the animals, they were too much to handle, so they were euthanizing. I'm sorry to say. But to make room for the ones that were found. Now, were these animals in need of treatment after being found?
Oh yeah, a lot of these animals. I mean, they had gone weeks. They were dehydrated, sick, broken bones. Obviously, there were other attacks on them by other animals. So these were we brought back 256. I want to say 256 animals during that time. A lot of them we did get reunited.
With their families.
With their owners.
Yes,
Nice.
with their families after the disaster, had happened.
Absolutely.
Was it mainly household pets, or was it all kinds of animals, livestock, wildlife?
Yeah, actually, I was asked to go to handle the large animals because they didn't have too many people that had experience with horses and cattle, and I have. And originally, that's what I went for, but it just I ended up setting up different shelters for small animals and domestic, because we were actually going into the homes, behind the National Guard and all of that for the animals once they've cleared the house.
Sifting through the rubble, trying to find, signs of life. Okay, I see.
Yep.
What type of animals do you have right now at your facility that you guys are trying to find homes for?
Almost everything we have now are dogs and cats. We have a few rabbits and one horse, but the majority of what we do is small animals, domestic.
Small animals, yes, family pets.
Absolutely.
Okay. What is your primary mission right now since you started the foundation? Are you working with any other foundations with animal abuse or anything like that?
Mostly what I do is I work with our local kill shelters, our animal control facilities. They're in contact with me all the time. So when certain dogs or cats are scheduled to be euthanized, those are the ones I go and pull. And those are the ones that we fully vet, and then we place them up for adoption. And I do work with some hoarding situations, which I'm right in the middle of one right now with about 30 chihuahuas. So that's something I'm working on as well.
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, what animal is it that's usually hoarded? Cats, is it?
No, actually, the case I'm working on right now is 30 chihuahuas.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Yeah,
that's a lot of chihuahuas.
The crazy chihuahua lady.
Yeah.
So and I am working with other rescues, getting them to take a few. I'm working with different people that can foster, because obviously I can't bring 30 chihuahuas into my shelter because I have a full shelter. So I will reach out to other rescues that I work with and I know, and they'll pitch in and they'll help as well. So we are getting them slowly but surely all placed somewhere.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
Yes.
Now, being that you're a vet tech, what is the main issues that you have coming in with family pets? What do you treat over there primarily? What do you see a lot when they come in? when
Um,
animals are
as a
coming?
vet tech at the clinic or as the pets that I rescue?
At the well, we could say both. Like
Okay.
when you rescue them, what are the main issues that these pets have?
A lot of them have with the dogs is going to be their heartworm positive.
Heartworm.
And I do take on a lot of medical cases because I do work for a wonderful veterinarian that helps me out.
Yeah.
So I'll take a lot of them that other rescues won't. So I do deal with a lot of heartworm positive, broken bones. We took in a 6-month-old pit bull about 3 months ago that was actually had acid poured all over his back.
Had acid poured all over his back from an owner, from the owner.
Well, we don't know because the area that he came from, like pit bull fighting, is really noted in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So they're cruel to the ones that don't do the job. So after the acid was poured all over the dog's back, it was just set on the street. Animal Services got it, obviously, and then they called me because of the case, and we ended up taking him, and now he's just about fully healed and ready for a new home.
Well, that's great. That's great. How old is he?
Now he is 8.5 months old.
Oh, so he's still a puppy. He's not even a year yet.
Oh, yeah.
He's not even
no,
a year.
he's just a puppy. He was like just under 6 months old when we rescued him.
Wow, that's great. With all these sightings of, I've heard a bunch of coyotes being in the area. Now, is rabies an issue that you guys see?
We haven't seen any cases of rabies just yet. Knock on wood.
Yes.
But we do. We're seeing. Of course, we see a lot of the coyotes in this area, and then owners constantly calling that their cats are missing or small dogs. So that is a huge issue, and people need to stay with their smaller animals.
Oh,
because,
of course.
Yeah, it's a planned attack when they grab a small dog or a cat.
Yes, and then when they come back, you're gonna have to get them treated. God forbid if anything happens to that pet.
Absolutely, and then if it's bitten by a coyote, you don't know if that coyote has rabies, and now you're talking about an isolation period. And the only way to diagnose rabies, unfortunately, is you have to remove the head of the pet and send it in.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Now there's no treatment to cure the pet of rabies, or is it euthanization?
No.
There is none.
No. I mean, that's almost no human or animal almost never survives rabies.
From rabies.
Ever.
I did not know that. I thought there was a treatment that is taken to cure them of rabies.
Yeah.
No. No, there is not.
I'm sorry. I was just looking at something else. Now, I've had a pet who had a cancer one time, and it was very expensive for surgery and treatment for this pet. Now, what do you think about insurance? Owners getting insurance for their pets. Do you see that a lot at the treatment center at your veterinary?
No, actually, we don't see it a lot. I mean, insurance is great if you take it out as a puppy, because you have to have some sort of history on it.
You have to have the general health to make sure.
Don't cover if there's not a history on the pet.
Yes, it has to be a healthy pet to get insurance coverage for him. He can't have cancer, and you can't bring him in and then get insurance after he is diagnosed with cancer, right?
Exactly, it does not work that way. Yeah,
because I had a lab, chocolate lab, and he had cancer, and he lived for a couple of years after the surgeries and everything. But geez, those medical bills were astronomical. I mean, I was paying $5,000 after everything.
Yeah, it's expensive. It is extremely expensive.
We were talking about that earlier as far as pets. So you never know what's going to happen to your dog, and just to have that. Just to
have it is a relief for some pet owners. I mean, paying a yearly amount of, say, under $1,000. God forbid anything happens to your pet.
Right.
You're covered, so you can bring them in for surgery. Now, when
it is good if people can get it at an early age.
Yes.
If the insurance is a godsend, is like what I like to say, because everybody wants to own a pet.
Yes.
But not everybody can afford
a pet. Yes, that's what they have to look at, make sure that they can afford the pet if anything should happen to them.
Absolutely, it's part of the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, with your adoption situation at your shelter at Cares, Do you guys spade and neuter, vaccinate before you send out for adoption? They have to get cleared before you can put it up for adoption?
Yeah, what we do is we spay and neuter, we microchip, we vaccinate, make sure everybody's up to date on vaccinations, and we heartworm test everybody. If anybody is positive, I put them through the treatment before they get adopted. When that pet is adopted, I do supply 1 year of heartworm preventative with that pet as well.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody we're doing a fundraiser right now for a dog that has double cataract. Before I'll adopt her out, we're going to have the surgery done because she's a 4-year-old dog.
Wow.
You know,
okay.
if she was 14 years old, I wouldn't do it.
You
but a 4-year-old, I'm going to do it.
Because it has a chance of finding a good home.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and she's a fun-loving little dog, and I mean, she's only 4. She's got a lot of years, so we want to give her sight back.
Yes. And
she'll become more adoptable that way as well.
Right. And tell us a little bit about the fundraiser. When is it? What's it about?
I've done it on Facebook. It is on Facebook right now on our Facebook page, and it's called Eyesight for Bumper. And of course, I do everything through my email too, to my whole networking base. So we're only $725 away from raising $4,200 total to have both eyes done.
Nice.
Now, will you be able to conduct that treatment for the pet when it does raise enough funds?
Because once regardless, we're having the surgery done for her, but we have to take her to a specialist in Tampa. It's nothing that my vet here does.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it has to be transported.
Regardless if we raise all the money or not at the end of this month, we're taking her next month to have it done.
Okay. Looking at your website right now, it's caresforpets.net, correct?
Correct.
It is. Now, to contact you, all you do is just email you from caresrescue at Gmail, right?
You got it. caresrescue@gmail.com.
Now, how often do you take in strays? Is it strays, or does people come and drop off their pet when they don't want it anymore or can't care for it anymore?
No, I usually don't do owner surrenders. About 98% of all of our dogs and cats come from kill shelters.
Kill shelters.
So, they do. And if there's a stray, somebody reports a stray, I'll either ask them to hold the stray or take them to animal services, and then I can put my name on the pet from there. So legally, when the time is up, the whole time,
yes,
then the pet gets signed over to me.
Signed over to
you. If I find the stray and I hold the stray, somebody can come back at any time and say, hey, that was my dog.
Mm-hmm.
So legally, I do everything through animal services,
yes,
so that we can cover all our bases.
Well, so you have paperwork upon the animal also, right? Not that you're just taking in strays with no paperwork.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because you do have to have a trail. You have to have
a paper
trail.
Yeah, you have to have a paper trail to either put it up for adoption or have the animal itself.
And even to be able to perform anything medical.
Oh, yeah, medical as well.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. So, I mean, somebody can actually come after you for treating your animal. Wow. So, when I first started, we made that mistake. I don't make that mistake anymore.
You don't make that.
Gotcha. That makes sense, yeah.
Now, you spoke about receiving animals from kill shelters. Now, I know that you're not a kill shelter, right?
No, we rescue from kill shelters.
You rescue from now.
They'll live their life out with us if have to.
That was my next question. I mean, God forbid if they don't find a home, you keep them until their life has ended, basically, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we've had had dogs with us for 3.5, 4 years before we found them a home.
Wow, and still being up for adoption after 3 or 4 years, caring for them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and like my shelter's set up more like a house. It's not what you would think of, like when you think of a shelter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our dogs get 6.5 hours of playtime, human interaction. It's not like you would think. We have 3 separate play yards based on the size, an isolation yard.
Mm-hmm.
These dogs get a lot of one-on-one attention. I'm a groomer as well, so our dogs are well groomed,
well maintained.
They gotta look good and smell good when it's time to go home.
Of course.
Yeah, it sounds more like a pet resort.
Yeah, it sounds like a vacation for them.
Want to leave,
Right.
We've had people, literally trying to pull the pet down the driveway, So
Yeah, they don't leave.
They got it good here. Why are we leaving?
Got to make room for another one.
Right.
Now, how many animals do you have on your facility, give or take?
In my facility, which isn't really big, but it can be anywhere between 20 to 35 based on the size of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
We have a separate location for all the cats because it would be too stressful to have the cats with the dogs.
Yeah,
So
of course.
The cats are all in Lutz, which is Pasco County, and all the dogs are in Hernando County in Brooksville.
Oh, okay, so it's two separate facilities holding your pets for adoption.
Absolutely. Cats are totally separate from the dogs.
Now, I have to ask, you said you had a horse?
Yes, I have, he's like 32 years old.
Wow.
And he came as a visitor and has never left. So he will live his life out on my property.
Yes.
I highly doubt somebody wants to come and adopt a 32-year-old horse.
Oh.
Right.
So he'll live his life out on my property, and he's well taken care of, and he just gets to be a horse. He just eats and...
And he became a part of your family at that point.
Yeah, when something like that, and especially the age, it's too much stress on him to move him again anyways.
Yes.
So he'll just live his life out there.
He's like the mascot.
He's like he's the face of he's the face of your foundation.
He watches out for the grandfather as much as everybody.
Now I see foster care volunteer. Could you explain that to me?
To be a volunteer?
Foster care volunteer, it says. Is it just being a volunteer, or anyone can come and, help out?
No, I have them do an application, and I do a background check on them before they can come to my facility and work with the animals. There's too much stuff happening out there today. So you got to be real careful on who you invite in. As a matter of fact, I don't even make the address public anymore because dogs were being tied to the front gate, thrown over the fence.
Oh, I've seen videos of that.
Yeah, so it's the address is no longer even public. You only you come to the shelter if you're a pre-approved adopter, because I have a 7-page application. We do background checks, vet checks, references, home inspections. So we do all of that first. Once you've passed all that and you can put up with all that, then you come to the shelter and you get to meet the pet or pets that you're interested in.
Nice.
That's great for volunteers to come down, give you a hand. I used to work for, I'm from Long Island, so I used to work with a foundation called Pit Crew. And it was all pit bulls, because those are the most abused that you see come through shelters in and out of foster care. People really don't want them after a while. They're cute in the beginning, but I used to work.
A lot of dogs, right?
Yes, there's a lot of them, and the same thing that you go through is they have to do background checks on the people who are coming in, make sure that they're, they're someone that you want volunteering for you.
I mean, and we never have enough volunteers, ever.
No.
There's just, it's a lot of hard work. People think
it
it's
is
fun. You come out and you sit and pet a dog. That's not what it's about. It is a lot of work when you volunteer.
Now, how many people do you have working for you at a given time? Because they probably have different schedules. It has to be a flexible schedule so they can go to work and live, basically.
Absolutely, it is. And we have morning and evening hours and weekend hours. So, we could have only 4 people there, or, we could have 7 or 8 people there. But volunteers are real slim to come by. Really slim to come by. Because, after being there a couple of times, it's a lot of work, So it's not all fun and games. I like my dogs to be walked and brushed and trained, and so it's a lot of work. But for the ones that have stuck it out, they love it.
Oh yeah, and it's very rewarding for the people who are coming to volunteer, of course.
Absolutely.
They're better people for it.
Absolutely.
Is there any other events that you have upcoming?
We're doing this time of the year now. You don't have too many other events going on, but we're doing 2 photo shoots. for the holidays where people can actually bring their pets. And then we bring some of our adoptable pets. We have December 6th, we're doing holiday photos here at Garrison Animal Hospital. And then on December 13th, we're going to be at Metzler's Animal Hospital in Clearwater because I have a lot of adopters from, those counties as well. So we're going to do those on the 6th and the 13th, and then we'll start again after the first of the year doing different adoption events.
Could you give us the address of those two?
Yes, Garrison is going to be 13170 Spring Hill Drive.
Okay.
And that's in Spring Hill, obviously. And that's from 10 to 3. And we are doing appointments, and we give them, it's like a 15-minute sitting time. They get a full CD of pictures, whether they get 5 or 100 on the CD. It's a $20 donation for it. Yeah. And then on December 13th is Metzler's Veterinarian Hospital, and they're on Summerdale Drive in Clearwater. And that event is from 9 to 2. And at that event, we're actually going to have raffles. And then we'll have adoptable pets there as well, and we're doing the holiday photos.
Nice. Now, do you provide the props for the holiday pros, little Santa hats, little jingle
Oh,
bells?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You dress them up. I bet that's the fun of it, That's part of the fun.
Oh, it is. We have everything from hats to necklaces, scarves, fences, Christmas packages, you name it, we've got it.
Most people probably use those pictures as their Christmas cards that they send out to their family. Yes.
Yep, that's why we put them on a CD for people so that they can make their cards out of them.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Is there any animal that you have there that you like a pet of the week or a dog of the week? Is there any animal that's special that you would like us to put on Facebook for you?
Yeah, that would be our boy Hardy, who's the pit bull puppy I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that had the acid poured all over his body. And if you go to our Facebook page, you can see what he looked like when we rescued him and what he looks like now. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to post a video today of us playing 2 days ago in the yard. Mm-hmm. But he is the one that I want to get placed. I have had some people interested in, but they've had no pit bull experience. Mm-hmm. And those breeds I like to put with families that are familiar with the breed because they are an active breed, and you need to know what you're doing with them.
Oh, of course.
Right.
I mean, you got to make sure that their temperament is well. With people, they're really scared about pit bulls because pit bulls. As growing up, pit bulls were always an aggressive dog when I was younger. I never had one, but that's what I always heard was pit bulls very aggressive dog. But it just matters who is raising them.
Absolutely, and he is a lover boy. He loves people. He loves kids. He will play with the other dogs, but we can't let him do too much of that yet because of the damage that was done to his back. He's still
recovering from that.
Yeah, but I mean, he is who I have featured. He's been through so much. Mm-hmm. He is the one I need to find a home for.
Well, when that video comes up on your Facebook, I will definitely post it on ours. So then
that would be great.
So then our people, our friends and following can see that.
That would be great.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I was just looking at your foster program. I was looking at your pictures on your website.
Yeah, we're in the middle of actually rebuilding our whole website.
Yes.
So it's not even updated where it needs to be because that is all changing, and it should be ready within 7 more days. So, but you can actually see a lot that we've done in the past on there, but our Facebook page actually shares a lot more right now. It's under construction, the website.
Up to date action news that you got going on over there.
Yes, because I mean, if you do the Facebook page, everything is up to date on that daily.
Nice. Good.
Do you have any questions, Maria, for her?
Nothing that I can think of offhand. I was just kind of reading, as far as donations go, and it was, interesting that $25 will feed 4 pets all month long, and that's only a month. So, and
right.
And up to 500 will feed up to 10 pets. So I didn't even realize, how far your money goes. So, yeah.
It does, and it helps because, being a nonprofit, we do get breaks and we do get help from different manufacturers.
Sure.
What we need to realize is that these pets stay in our care until they find a home. So not only are we making sure they're fed, they're bathed, they're groomed, they're heartworm preventative, they're flea preventative, they're deworming. This is stuff that adds up every month, as a pet owner would know anyways. So there's times that by how many pets we have in the shelter.
And every single time you get a pet in, you have to redo the process to make sure that he's healthy. Yes, to make sure that he's healthy. I mean, he's coming from a non-kill shelter, so you're the one taking it to care for it at the point of them forfeiting it, surrendering it.
Absolutely. And see, my adoption fees will range like from $150 to $300, and that if I put $5,000 in a dog, or a cat, my highest adoption fee is $300.
Yeah, so, depending on the size of the animal, of the dog or cat.
Yeah, so regardless, we just want to find them good homes, and people need to realize when they adopt from a reputable rescue, that pet that they're getting is fully vetted. Well, and even if they pay a $150 donation for that pet, they could never go to their vet and only spend that amount of money to have everything done.
Yes, right, of course.
All the preventive care, the microchips, spay and
everything.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you talking with us, Lisa.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
If there's any time you want to come on the air, and discuss anything you have to discuss, I will email you all of our information. If you want to go on Facebook, it's facebook.com/For the Love of Animals Radio. And your foundation is CARES Community Animal Rescue Educational Shelter?
Correct.
And you can find that on caresforpets.net. And take a look at her. Drop her a line.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I really appreciate it. Have a good holiday, all right?
Thank you. You too.
Have a good one.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. She's a very nice lady.
She was very nice.
Very nice lady.
Yes.
I mean, for what she has done to help out the animals in the Katrina and getting into the business back in 2007. I mean, when was Katrina? 2007, right? 2006? 2004. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that long ago.
And that's. Oh, I'm sorry. 2007 is when she started the foundation. That's what it was.
Right.
And she got into it from there.
Mm-hmm. All right, we have to do a commercial break, so we'll be right back after these words.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-509-1453. That's 1-800-509-1453. Again, 1-800-509-1453. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom150.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom150.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom150.com. Go to freedom150.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom150.com.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-0906. 800-296-0906. 800-296-0906. That's 800-296-0906.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-518-1300. That's 1-800-518-1300. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-518-1300 for details.
Welcome back to For the Love of Animals. I'm Tim.
And I'm Maria.
And we were just talking with Lisa Lewis of Cares for Pets. It's an animal rescue that she has.
Yes.
She had started a couple of years back for animals who need homes. She's a very nice lady.
Very nice lady. Yes.
She started from Katrina. You know, the experience she had from Katrina, caring for the animals from there. And when she got here, she decided to open up her own shelter.
Yeah, good for her. Yep. And we're going to put her link up on our page, of course. And
yes, we will put her link up on our page so that everyone could see exactly what we were looking at, her website. And if you want to join them on the events that she has going on next month with the Christmas photos.
Yes.
Dressing up your animal.
Meow.
Please do so. Take a look at her.
Definitely.
Speaking of adopting pets, how do you know what kind of pet you want?
Right.
You know, determining a pet is a big thing because you don't know what kind of a breed is for you.
Right.
I mean, especially when you're adopting a pet, you don't really have a choice to get a puppy. I mean, when you adopt a pet, you're usually getting an animal who is maybe a year, maybe 5 years old. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be talking about general signs of good health in pets. Of course, health is important when you're determining a pet. I mean, when you're in some shelters, you don't know if that pet is really completely healthy, but I mean, the shelter is doing everything they can.
Right.
To care for them.
And most shelters, they do, look into that and make sure it's healthy before they even try to adopt them.
Well, like Lisa said, it always comes with paperwork.
Right.
Every animal comes with paperwork, of course, to get the treatment for adoption.
Right.
She microchips. I up in New York, I've never gotten a pet that had microchipped in it.
Yeah, and now it's like everywhere. Yeah, it's really big down here. So. And it's important, too, and it's good, and it doesn't harm them, you know what I mean? And if, God forbid, if your pet goes missing, you can find them.
Well, and if it's found by Animal Services, they'll be able to check to see who the owner is.
Yep.
I mean, that was one of the best inventions that they had come up with. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of lost pets out there, no one knows who no right. Tag. How do we find the owner?
Right.
You know?
But it's important to, you want to be able to commit to the relationship for the life of your pet. It's not like, going to get a dog. You're not going to get tired of it after a while. That pet is a big, responsibility.
It's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
And it's good for parents to get a pet to show children how much responsibility it is to own and care for a pet.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what showed me responsibility when I was younger. But when you're in the animal shelters, you of course want to look to see if the animal is alert and responsive.
Yeah.
You know, basically looking at him and seeing if he looks at you when you speak to him.
Right. Socialization skills.
Socialization
is important.
skills.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
That's the word you're looking for. I can see it.
I mean, you don't want an animal who's too hyper, who doesn't listen.
Right.
Then how are you going to be able to take it into your house and care for it because it's doing what it wants to do.
Right, because after a certain age, sometimes they're not trainable.
And not trainable. I mean, the biggest thing that people want to find out about a pet is it housebroken?
Yeah,
you don't want to come. You don't want to come home and find your carpet ripped up and spots all over the floor that you got to clean up landmines. You know,
exactly.
after the end of the day.
Right. Yeah.
Also, looking to see if the animal, his balance is coordinated because you've seen dogs with tilted heads left and right. You're wondering if he's deaf. I mean,
he might look cute with his head cocked.
He might look cute with his head cocked, but he might have an infection that you don't know about.
Exactly.
That you have to look at.
Yeah.
And make sure that you don't have any continuous problems with it after you adopt it.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you have to get the right licenses and make sure the leash requirements and noise control.
And noise
you got to
control.
think about that. You got to think about that too. So
of course.
And you don't want your pet to stray away or become feral or any of that stuff. So
Well,
you got to be responsible. Yeah.
Also, when you get a pet, and if you already own a dog, you got to make sure that they're going to get along.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most animal shelters, if you go to an animal shelter and look to adopt a pet,
Right.
they'll be willing to let you bring in your pet that you have now to see if it interacts well with the new dog that you're going to get.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. And that's important. Yeah.
Because you don't want the dogs fighting or anything. You don't want to come home to an injured dog.
Right.
From a dog that you had just brought in that you adopted.
Exactly. Yeah.
At that point, that causes. I mean, that's social problems between either dog.
Yeah.
But,
or a cat too.
Or cat. I'm
right.
sorry. I keep on saying dog because
I know.
Growing up, I never really had a cat. I always had dogs growing up.
Yeah. Now see, the dog I had growing up, my mom didn't want it in the house. It was one of those chained up in a dog house, and it made him mean.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because it didn't have any social skills.
Yeah.
All it knew was that chain and that little dog house. That's which.
And it like bit everybody that came. Anybody that came near me, it tried to bite him because that's what I was the mom. I fed him. I took him, walked him.
Because it's not used to anyone coming over and giving it love.
Yes, and he was a mean little doggy. It was a Schnauzer and Shepherd mix. So yeah, imagine that.
When I was younger, I had a grandfather. He lived in a bad area, and his house was surrounded by a fence. His property was completely surrounded by a fence.
Gotcha.
And he had 2 dogs, and those dogs rarely came inside. Those dogs were watchdogs.
Right.
They
guarded their yard.
And they did a good job of that. I mean, my grandfather, he always telling me stories when I was younger that Winston was one of his dogs, found a squirrel, and because a squirrel running into the yard. Winston would go and chase it, and I mean, I hate to say it, but hunt it.
Yeah,
And you find a squirrel on your porch at one point or another. But that's just the territory that dog was in.
Right.
Because he had to watch out because it wasn't really a nice area.
Okay, gotcha. But he was doing his job, so that's
he was doing his job, and that's what he was made for. I mean, you all seen the signs. Beware! Don't worry about the dog. Beware of owner.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. But that's funny. Yes. I'm going down the list here. There's 7 things you can do to keep your pet healthy.
Oh yeah.
So that's always good.
What do you have over there?
Well, number 1 is keep your pet at a healthy weight. I guess depending on the breed, you can do that and make sure he's not getting too fat.
Make sure he's not getting too fat or overfeeding him.
Right.
I
and
mean,
that goes right along with number 2, exercising your pet.
Exercise your pet is very, very big.
Yeah.
Because
even if you don't have time to walk him, throwing a ball out in the yard. You know what I mean?
Play fetch with them. Just to get them running around is what a dog
it's
really...
just like people, they'll get fat and lazy too.
Yeah, they have to be active. They have to keep their mind on something.
Right.
You know, either that or they're going to go chase cars. They got to keep their mind on something.
Yes, or bark at the neighbor's dog.
Not just dogs, but cats as well.
Oh, sure.
And
yes.
You could play with a cat. I had a friend who had a cat, and they would play with ribbon.
Ribbon.
The little ribbon that you would and they'd claw at. They try to snatch and claw.
I always like the fishing pole with the feather thing on the end.
Oh yes.
And of course the lasers that just
the lasers also that's really fun because
cats,
they don't know where that laser's coming from.
It's under the chair. Oh, there it is.
They're climbing up the wall trying to get to it.
Yeah, I had a cat that used to jump like halfway up the wall, I swear. He's a good cat. Also important, feed your pet a balanced, nutritious diet. Make sure they don't... I'm not a fan of, like, table food and feeding the dog at the table.
No, I mean, feeding the dog or cat... I mean, cats really don't eat table food, but I've heard... I've had friends who had cats who would eat pizza.
Right.
I don't ask me why, but I thought cats like fish and meat, but this cat would be eating on pizza. No.
It's funny, but it's not good for them.
It's funny, it's cute, but it's really not good for them.
Right.
Same thing with dogs. I'm a strong believer in pedigree.
Yeah.
That's what I always fed my dog.
Gotcha.
Was pedigree, and it was only it was a lab, so it was only one can a day. She'd get half in the morning, and half at night.
Right, and you got to try and keep them on the same schedule.
Keep them on the same schedule because if you don't come home from work to feed them in the afternoon, then it's sitting there. I mean, not starving, but it's out of balance to eat, and then
try and keep the same schedule.
It starts to look for things to eat, and you don't want your dog digging into your cereal box.
Yeah. Now I've heard in Europe that they don't sell like pet food. That they just eat table scraps.
Really?
Yes. I don't know how true that is, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I've heard of owners cutting up chopped meat.
Okay.
And giving it to their, but that's lean meat that they can eat. You know?
Yeah, because you always hear that story, the scary recall dog food thing, and then people get worried.
Yeah,
and they
about
wanna,
the animal getting sick, and they don't want to have a problem for the animal to go to the vet to treat it. Right,
and that's important too. Just making sure you get your pet to the vet every year, at least once a year for a checkup.
And that brings us up to our next one. It's have a veterinarian examine your pet at least once a year to make sure the pet is healthy. Of course,
right.
Anything could be in the pet's diet to give it like heartworm. I mean, that's one of the most. That's one of the most common things that animals get is heartworm.
And then that's how they detect problems, later on.
That will further problems later in its
Vaccinate
life.
your pet.
Yes,
you got to do that.
Vaccinate your pet. Make sure
just
they
like
get
a
all
kid.
their shots.
Yeah. You should, yep.
You should.
And especially, like, God forbid, if your dog does get out and bite someone and they don't have their shots and it's not up to date, you're in trouble.
And then you're dealing with lawsuits at that point.
Right.
Just because you don't have the paperwork stating that he got this vaccination. Even if you go to we'll say Petco.
Right.
If you go to Petco and you want to get your dog groomed, they need to see paperwork stating that he got his up-to-date shots.
Right.
Because if he doesn't, then you're not getting your pet groomed there.
Exactly. And that's important, too, keeping your pet free of parasites, fleas, ticks, all that stuff.
Yeah, because you don't want them in your house.
No, you don't. You do not. And, and there's different treatments for that, too, so.
Up in New York, I used to have fleas in my house. I'm sorry, I just zoned out for 1 second. I don't know what it could have been.
It's okay.
But I had fleas.
You were traveling back to New York there.
I was traveling. I was far. I was about 1,200 miles away there. I had fleas, so I had a flea bomb my house just because They were everywhere. I mean, not just on the pet, but I would find them on my skin.
Yeah, in your clothes, yes. In your furniture, yeah.
Yes.
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty because you flea bomb, they'll come back, and then you got to give your dog a flea dip or cat a flea dip.
Yeah, I had the cat, and I used the drops. I can't think of the name of them right now. Where you put it on the back of the neck. You know what I'm talking about. You just can't. Yeah, we'll think of it later after the show.
Frontline.
Yeah.
Frontline, yes. That's a good treatment to use for animals.
And there's actually a list of 12 dog diseases you can prevent with vaccinations and deworming. Well, obviously, rabies is the first one.
Rabies, yes. But I actually did not know.
I didn't know about the head thing either.
I did not know that you had to euthanize the animal after it was contracted with rabies.
Right. I know if humans get rabies, you have to get those shots in your stomach.
You have to get them through your belly button, up through your sternum.
It sounds painful.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Canine influenza. Influenza is...
Doggy flu.
Doggy flu. Yes, you can get your dog vaccinated for that. To make sure.
The distemper, the canine distemper, I guess it's a natural thing for dogs, so you have to do that.
Yes. Lyme disease, of course. There's going to be ticks outside.
Yes.
You don't want your dog coming in with Lyme disease. I mean, you can get it vaccinated. So, God forbid, if there is a tick outside and it does get latched onto its ear or whatever the case may be,
right?
You don't have problems later down the road.
Exactly, heartworms and all that, and there's actually a vaccine for the kennel cough. Whatever it's called. The technical name for it is a name that I can't pronounce.
I cannot pronounce that either. I'm
okay.
Sorry.
We'll just call it kennel cough.
Yes. That's like
doggies.
That's like dog whooping cough.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
My brother has a big lab, an English lab, and he actually caught that. Yeah, that's what it sounds. Yeah, we don't have the sound effect for that one.
We don't have a sound. We'll just cough.
Yeah. But you gotta sound like a doggy.
You gotta sound like a dog. I'm sorry. Yeah, right.
That's a little rough.
Sorry, that was a bad impersonation of a dog.
That was. So, and then, keep up on the shots, of course, and, what else? We got like 8 minutes left, so we're just kind of going through healthy pets. We're kind of trying to focus on healthy pets.
We're trying to show people a responsibility they need to take.
Yeah.
When owning a pet, when looking for a pet, when deciding to buy a pet or
look at the big picture.
Yes,
look at the big picture.
Look at it as a 12-year commitment, maybe even longer.
Right.
The dog that I had cancer, so it really didn't last that long. It was about 6 years old when it had passed, but that was a long life for what he had. He had tumors on his stomach, I believe it was.
Aww. And that's and you never know either.
Yes.
You didn't know he was going to have tumors. He was just a cool
dog. In labs though, it's more common to have tumors arise later in life.
Okay.
If you guys are looking at labs to get it as an animal, as a pet, just be aware of the tumors and maybe getting that checked out when it's a puppy and
just like German Shepherds, the hips you got to watch out for. Yeah, certain breeds.
Breeds.
Yes,
they
always
dogs,
have their thing.
Larger dogs with the hip, displacement. When they sit down, their hips are cocked to the left or the right. When they sit down, lay down.
There's going to be a day when they can't walk anymore.
And then from that, it could be spinal problems. It could progress.
Yes.
It can progress.
Yep. So, but...
when you have an animal, prepare for an emergency or a disaster.
Right, and there's some warning signs here, like obviously vomiting or diarrhea.
Yes.
Any wounds on them that you see. My daughter's cat one time looked like a hole in the side of the cat.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be some kind of parasite, and she had to take it to the vet. Obviously, I'm like, "What's wrong with the cat? It looks like somebody shot him," and it was, just this hole.
And that can occur from just an abrasion or a
just
cut.
a scratch,
just a scratch, anything. It could get infected.
He was an in-and-out cat, so he'd go outside, slept out the window, out the screen, and he could have cut himself. He could have got into a fight with an animal. You don't know. You know what I mean? But it was just,
You'll know when to take your animal to the
right.
vet. When it's not feeling well.
Right.
Of course,
Any swelling or lumps or bumps on them, always check them out. You know, just
yes.
examine them all the time.
Respiratory problems, whether it's breathing,
Yeah.
if his eyes are clear.
Any weight gain, weight loss.
Weight loss, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The not
Coughing,
eating, possibly.
sneezing. Yeah. The appetite thing, yes. If you hear the breathing's different, the wheezing, cats, you know.
Yes.
I'm trying to say cats and dogs at the same time.
Cats, well,
if you're animals,
cogs,
cogs,
or dats.
But they do sneeze. It's funny. It's funny when cats sneeze. It really is.
I mean, of course.
But you have to watch it. I mean, that could be a warning sign. That so it's cute, but yeah.
Make sure their eyes are clear. You know,
yes.
bright, responsive.
Mm-hmm.
If they're watery, that might be something you have to take a look at.
Right. And we were talking about this earlier, how they tilt their head. That's a sign. It could be a warning sign.
That could be a warning sign of impairment in either the eyes or their senses altogether. You know.
Yes.
I used to have a cat. I'm sorry. My friend used to have a cat. I actually lived with him for a little while, and it was something with his whiskers. His whiskers were disturbed in some way, whether he caught it on something and one pulled off. Okay. But he would be moving to the left.
Yeah, because that's how they do their balance thing. That's their boundaries. That's how
their whiskers. Is basically their antennas on their face.
Right. Walking in circles. I did not know this. That could be a warning sign that your dog is not feeling well. So
walking in circles, not sitting down or laying down, but walking in circles in one place.
Mm-hmm.
I see. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen a dog, I mean,
I've heard that too. True though about like if they want to attack something, if they're worried about something too, that they go in circles.
I'm not sure what the behavioral signs are for that,
right.
But
and you know your dog. If you obviously you should know your dog. You should look for
look for the warning signs.
Yeah.
I had a dog when I was really really young. She was a Keeshond. And you ever see the dog, put their butt on the floor and drag it across the rug?
Yes.
Well, do you know what that's caused from?
Their butts are itchy.
In so many words.
Yeah.
It was tapeworm.
Oh.
So if you see a dog, everybody has seen a dog do this. They drag their butt across the floor.
Look, that's funny. It's not funny.
It's not funny because your dog's got some tapeworm inside of them. You have to get that treated.
Exactly. Right. And also check for your bellies if they're bloated at all, because I know that's a big thing in puppies. You know they have worms at their bellies.
Oh, if they're bloated, if their belly's enlarged.
I guess cats too, kittens too, the same thing.
Yeah,
so
I could see that.
Mm-hmm. We went over the eyes, things, the ears. The ears are important too. And make sure the outer ear and inner ear are clean. I know my cat got, I think it's mites, cat ear mites. Mm-hmm. So you had to
crawling around in there, picking them out.
You had to put the little drops in and wipe it out with a Q-tip, and
Make sure there's no discharge out of the nose or ears or eyes.
Yeah.
Mouth.
Mm-hmm. Just like a baby.
Check your dog's. Check your animal's teeth. Make sure there's no nothing wrong with them. Mm-hmm. Whether it's gum disease or rotten teeth. I mean, there's I've never heard of a dentist for dogs, but I tried.
Sure there is.
I tried to brush my dog's teeth one time. It didn't fare well.
Yeah, usually just the milk bones or whatever.
Yeah, those
greenies.
Greenies. Yes, those greenies are a wonder. If your dog does have bad breath or gum disease,
and they do have sprays,
really.
They do have sprays for dogs.
Never seen that before.
Yeah, it's like a minty thing. They love it.
We got about 1 minute left.
We do. Wow, that went fast.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys tuning in.
Absolutely.
Discussing animal care for your pets.
I think we did a good job, and next week Chrissy should be back to her regularly scheduled program.
Chrissy, I wish you were here. It was a really good show. I wish you were a part of it.
Yeah.
You can check us out on Facebook for the love of Facebook.com/ For the Love of Animals Radio. We will be posting segments of this show. Lisa's website will be posting. Please check us out on Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube.
Yep.
For the Love of Animals. I'm Tim.
And I'm Maria, and we thank you for listening.
Thank you
and we'll
for
see you
listening.
next week.
Happy holidays.